here on a beautiful day at Manor Farm Fisheries in Bedfordshire for the third PDC Invitational Charity Fishing Match.
We've got some of the biggest names in boxing, some of the biggest names in darts and in snooker for what's going to be a fantastic event for a very good cause indeed. There are 6 teams of 4 on the bank. Former IBF World Middleweight Boxing Champion Darren Barker led the PDC management team. Boxers Spencer Oliver, Paul Smith and Nicky Cook were with former darts champion Chris Mason for the commentators. Team McDonald Brown contained the ladies, led by Sammy Marsh-Wade. Her husband James, currently ranked 6th in the world, was in Team 1 of the darts players. The second PDC Players Quartet had Scott Mitchell and Steve Brown, with match angler Steve Collett to add some expertise. And former World Snooker Champion Steve Davis led a celebrity 4, with TV angler Keith Arthur, actor Jake Wood and the musician Dappy. Some had fished before, and some were very new at this indeed, but everyone wanted to win it.
You can only hope, can't you? I mean, last year I think I got lucky. This year I think I'm going to be even luckier if I win it. There's some tough competition out there. There's a lot of people that want that trophy.
It's a bit of fun, but you know, as Spencer said earlier, it's something you want to win. I think when you come from a competitive background, then I want to win it.
I used to do a lot of fishing before I started playing my darts full time. Sadly, I don't get enough time to do it anymore, but I'm looking forward to today.
It's nice to be involved so that you are involved in the competition. It's not about winning, it is definitely about taking part. But if you get close to winning, that's exciting.
Spencer Oliver won it last year. He'd never fished before. I think I'm 16-1. I don't know how I managed that, but yeah, fingers crossed.
I want to beat the fish. And if I can beat enough fish to beat the other people, then that suits me right down to the ground. And of course, any winnings I get, it's only going to one place, not all the others, it's going to charity.
I'm ready, I'm going to lift it, I'm doing it for the girls. You know, I'm all set up there. Look, everything's ready, just got to put my bait on the line and then off we go. 10:30 in, be right.
Before that 10:30 start, it was time for the peg draw to see where everyone would be fishing. Today there were 24 anglers taking part, with prizes for teams and individuals.
Pegs we'll be using are pegs 2 to 25. 2 to 25. And first of all, Sarah Collins from swim number 10.
Knowing which peg was best on a day like today was impossible. The smart money was on pegs numbered in the low teens to produce the winner. Tactics were likely to be float and pole for small fish, feeder fishing for big bonus carp. The anglers had 5 hours of fishing ahead of them. Some, like darts player Steve Brown, had a little bit to prove. What are your prospects today?
I've been sent here by Greenpeace, I think, just to make sure I don't catch any fish, and all is well. And this swim, they're pretty safe, yeah, so I don't expect to win, though.
Don't expect to win?
No, not today.
Can you just explain to us your record in this competition, because it's not the first time you've been here, is it?
No, pretty prolific, and it's my 3rd year. So far I've caught no fish. So
no fish?
Not at all, no, not one.
On a highly stocked commercial venue like this, you've had no fish?
No, not at all, no. I think I'm 25-1 just to catch a fish today, so it's a good price.
How competitive are you?
Oh, I am competitive, yeah, really am. But just fishing, just me and fishing don't seem to go on very well.
How have you ended up here?
I don't know, they keep inviting me. The alarm clock went off at 4:30 this morning, and I did think, how can I get out of this? But yeah, here I am.
How do you think your skill set from your own sport applies to angling?
I'm not sure, but a lot of these dart players seem to be pretty good at fishing. But I'm not very good at darts either, so that's probably the answer to your question.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the 3rd PDC Invitational Fishing Championship, sponsored by McDonald Brown. It's 10:30. Let the bait meet its fate.
Behind Chris Mason now, peg 5, and he's into a fish straight away just within seconds of the hooter blowing, Andy. That looks like a skimmer. It does. He's float fishing, little waggler set up. He's not casting out very far, but nice to see a fish in the net early on. I think there's a little bit of a worry today with the bright conditions that the fishing's going to be quite hard, Rob. Maybe the case, but there's a lot of colour in the water, and certainly this fish feeding that is right under the marquee, and yeah, he's caught very quickly. Peg 6. We can feel the tension. This is Steve Brown. Steve, having fished this event 2 years running, has yet to catch a fish. Did have a bite last year apparently, but missed it.
You can see the levels of concentration on his face. Steve, of course, is one of our darts players. Last 32 of the World Championship in 2011. He's been in the World Match Play last 16 of the World Grand Prix. He's a competitor, Rob. He's not going to want to go away from this event having had another blank.
Absolutely, we're not going to pile the pressure on him in any way, shape or form. Nor, oh, he's looking around, he can hear us talking there. Absolutely under it this time. He's been up on the hockey before now for big prize competitions, but you know what? Nothing in comparison with the pressure that he's going to be feeling now.
So we have a bookmakers here, and it's perhaps no secret that there are two very high quality match anglers among the field. One of them is this man here, Keith Arthur. You may have seen Keith on TV presenting fishing programmes, but he's...
Only once or twice, only once or twice. The face of fishing in the UK without any question, and it's nice to see him out in this box and competitive again.
Absolutely, he always has been competitive, sometimes only with himself, as he said earlier on. Bad news though, Rob, he's not had a fish yet. We're an hour in.
He's feeding a lot further out than the line he's on at the moment. He's just encouraging a few fish to try and come in, but also baiting is closer in line as well. So we'll be running a few different spots to try and get those fish feeding. But at the moment, it does seem to be quite tough all over the place.
Oh, that was a bite.
That was a bite, definitely.
There we can see Steve Collett, who's catching a few small silvers. He's obviously going with a quantity rather than quality approach today.
He's not doing a bad job. Very capable angler, actually, Steve Collett, isn't he? And he can turn his hand to more or less anything. He's the British Lure champion. He's actually quite a dab hand at sea fishing as well.
Good fly angler.
Good fly angler, and he catches carp, but at the moment he's got his match hat on. And he's probably doing as good as anyone that we've seen around the pond at the moment. Meanwhile, back with Steve Brown, things are still looking a little bit quiet.
Yes. Steve's pacing like an expectant father around his peg. I like the way he's kind of standing back from his rod just to give the fish a chance. If the float does go under, whether he's going to get there in time to lift into the bite is the question I'm asking. But I'm sure he knows what he's doing. Fascinating, isn't it?
Gripping. Peg 25 now and Dappy, end peg advantage. No slouch when it comes to angling. He's a carp angler, does an awful lot of it, catches quite a few fish as well.
Some big fish too.
Absolutely. And not a pole angler, and it's actually quite tricky using a pole when you're not used to it. The shipping back aspect can be quite difficult, but he knows exactly where he's going with that, under the front of those trees. And he's going to be in the land of roach down there. I think he's had one or two already.
The interesting thing is, as an angler, he'll have an understanding of what's going on. There's a bite.
Oh yeah, straight to look at that straight away. And this is the tricky bit now, just shipping back. He's got to ship that back as quickly as possible, get to the joint. He's pulling one joint off there, wants to go a bit further back and swing into hand, and there we have it. One roach, there's a happy chappy.
A happy dappy.
Straight in the net. Is that an inquiry?
Okay. It's more than an inquiry. Look at this.
Oh,
look at this.
Oh. This is a historic moment. Is it going to go?
It's got to go.
Is it going to go?
Go.
What's the dart reaction like? Yes! Yeah!
Oh! So close, but so far. It's bounced out. He's hit the wire.
He's hit the wire. He's lost his bet.
On double top.
Steve. James Wade, peg 8. And he's catching a few at the moment, 40, fishing fairly short.
It's James is an angler. He used to fish before he says a little bit. Maybe he used to be an angler before he became a very successful darts player. I mean, he's probably the most successful darts player here in the match today. And you can sort of see the levels of concentration. His biggest concern, I have to tell you, is that he doesn't get beaten by A, any of the other darts players who are here today, and B, his wife Sammy, who's fishing on the other side of the lake. And I hear she's already had 7 or 8 quite decent-sized fish.
There's an immediate look of concern on his face there. He can hear what we're saying.
Actually.
That must be. That must be. Come on, Steve. Let's have it.
Oh.
That is history in the making. Look.
That's a
history in the
roach.
making. Swing it in, please, sir. You're now on the scoreboard. This is Steve Brown's first fish in 3 competitions.
I don't think he knows what to do now.
That's fantastic. Well done, Steve.
That roach has no idea what a celebrity it is.
Steve, absolutely fantastic capture there, and just talk us through it. That's history made.
Yeah, no, I missed a few early on, and I was devastated. But yeah, the hook, the float went down. I'm in again.
Look.
I'm in again.
Oh, yes.
No,
Oh.
just missed one. See, I think it's definitely my technique. It's let me down. But I'll persevere, and I think we change the setup now. I'm using an 18 hook now, yeah, instead of a 14, which has let me down, I think.
Absolutely, very, very good match tactics there. When the bites are tricky, just finding down a little bit,
Yeah, just
like taking a couple of grams off the dart there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, just sort of tickling the float with the maggots, and yeah, it seems to be working for me.
On it. Is this going to be it now? This is it. It's charge.
Yeah, I'm going
Big
for quantity rather than quality. So.